back, ladies and gentlemen. We have big breaking news. Param Singh has been suspended by the Maharashtra government. This is the big breaking news at this point. This is something we have been building up to all day because our sources had informed us that the signature on the official letter has already been given for suspension of Param Singh. He is the former Mumbai Police Commissioner. He was later appointed as the DG Home Guard, but he did not ever report to duty because he went underground. He has recently surfaced over all the allegations and the FIRs against him, and he has now been suspended. So this is the big breaking news coming in at 5:45 p.m. Param Singh, former Mumbai Police Commissioner, has been suspended. He is mired in all manner of legal cases. We have Shravan joining us on the phone. Shravan, you can tell us the most about this. What has happened with regards to Param Singh? Is he now officially suspended? Shravan.
Well, Ankit, the final orders are yet to come in, but we are given to understand that the process has been completed. The Maharashtra Chief Minister, soon after taking charge earlier in the day, had signed the file that was basically prepared, and the Home Department has received the file, is what we are being told by our sources. So, yes, Ankit, we can now confirm that Param Singh, IPS officer, has now been suspended. His services are no longer required by the Maharashtra police, which essentially means that he cannot perhaps resume charge as far as his DG rank office is concerned. And secondly, with regards to this decision that has been taken, remember, the other procedure that will begin very soon is the dismissal of Param Singh from the police force itself. So it is certainly the first step towards that action. It is a decision that has been taken by the Maharashtra government following a report that was prepared by the Maharashtra Chief Secretary, Debashish Chakrabarti, who was basically given an adverse report as far as Param Singh is concerned.
Right, Shravan. So he has been suspended due to irregularities and lapses, like Shravan was telling us. Param Singh had a report filed over his activities, and this report was submitted, and now the Chief Secretary has confirmed to Republic that he has been suspended. So Shravan, if you're still with us, please tell us then what this means.
ठीक है अभी फिलहाल हाँ चालू है
We have Shravan with us still. Param Singh has been suspended. The Maharashtra Chief Secretary has confirmed this to Republic. He has been suspended due to irregularities and lapses after the report submitted against him. Shravan, please tell us what was in this report. What were the specific irregularities that they focused on? So we'll try to get Shravan back, as we'll also try to get Alisha on the phone. We have Yasha is joining us. Yasha, Param Singh has been suspended by the Mumbai police. What can you tell us about this development? Where has this information come from, and what was the reason behind it?
Yes, so in fact what we now see is that former Mumbai Police Commissioner Param Singh has been suspended. He was holding the position of DG Home Guards, but now, in fact in the morning, we had confirmed that Param Singh's file was with Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, because he was back from his hospital, and which is where he signed the document and it was passed on, which is where now the Chief Secretary of Maharashtra has confirmed that Param has been suspended. This is because of the irregularities with his service. In fact, we had seen just a day back wherein Home Minister had taken cognizance of how Param Singh was making use of his official car as well as his official residence, even after coming to Mumbai and not resuming work, which did not go really well with the officials of Maharashtra, because he was still DG Home Guard, and despite the fact that he did not attend his service, despite the fact that his sick leave had lapsed, he did not attend his service, and which is why this point became very important, wherein
Right, Yasha, we have Shravan also joining us. Shravan, if you can tell us, what was this adverse report that focused on Param Singh? What were its findings over which he has been suspended? Shravan.
Well, in fact, Ankit, the latest details now coming in. It is now official. Maharashtra Home Minister Dilip Walse Patil has now confirmed to Republic TV that IPS officer Param Singh has been suspended from his services. Step one, as far as the other big action that is likely to be taken, is with regards to dismissal of Param Singh. What we are given to understand is that the Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, immediately after taking charge earlier in the day, the first act that was done by the Maharashtra Chief Minister was the signing of the file as far as recommendation of Param Singh's suspension is concerned. This is after the Maharashtra Chief Secretary, that is Debashish Chakrabarti, basically filed an adverse report against Param Singh, in which he's essentially said that there is impropriety, there is the very fact that there has been administrative lapses on the part of Param Singh, and there was a need for a departmental inquiry against Param Singh. Remember, the details that we have essentially picked up is that his role, as far as a reinstatement of Sachin Vase is concerned, has come under the scanner. Secondly, is a letter that has been written to the Maharashtra Chief Minister with regards to serious allegations against the former Maharashtra Home Minister is concerned. And the third is the complete mishandling of the Antilia bomb scare case. Here is a man who's now been charged for extortion, has finally been suspended by the Maharashtra government. This comes just about a year after Param Singh, along with his colleague, that is Sachin Vase, he carried out this entire fake cases. Multiple fake cases were registered, starting from Republic TV to several other cases during his tenure. All of that have now basically come under the scanner. Let me also bring in my colleague, our legal editor, Ridham Anand Bhardwaj. Ridham, an official confirmation now coming in that Param Singh has been suspended. What I'm picking up from my sources is that this is just the beginning, because the dismissal of Param Singh from the force itself will also take place after this procedure is completed. What more are you picking up from your side?
In fact, I also want to tell our viewers, like you've been speaking about, Shavan, that the tainted IPS officer Param Singh has now been suspended. And this is something we were anticipating after all the events of the last few days. He's not got any office now. He's out of office, even though he tried to go to the Home Guard's office on Monday. I also want to tell our viewers, disciplinary proceedings in respect of certain irregularities and lapses committed by him, including unauthorized absence from duty, are some of the reasons they've given on record. So he's suspended for disciplinary action. Report will now be sent to the central government. I also want to tell our viewers that after that meeting took place, DCP Parag Manare has been suspended, and that also becomes very crucial, because how were they allowed to be meeting is something very crucial. But let me actually put this into perspective, that the process has been completed. Let me put this into perspective now, viewers. On Monday, a meeting takes place between disgraced cop Param Singh and another disgraced cop who is currently in Taloja. And that meeting took place, and there were fingers raised about how this was happening. At 10:30, Param had also gone to the Home Guard's office in the same building where he had been told to cooperate with the Chandival Commission probe. On Tuesday, an inquiry began. After that inquiry, he put out a pursus on Wednesday, and on Thursday there were suspension proceedings. But let me also clarify that these are not suspension proceedings only based on that meeting that took place, but several of the other...
Sorry to interrupt you. Ridham, sorry to interrupt you. We're getting the latest update from Alisha, who's joining us from outside the Mantralaya. Alisha, you've spoken to the Maharashtra Home Minister. Take us through the details on what grounds has Param Singh finally been suspended.
Anjali, go and see.
Well, Shavan, as we know that the Maharashtra government has already suspended Param Singh on a disciplinary procedure. As we know that Param Singh, and we are right outside the HM office, and he's been suspended under disciplinary action, and this report will be sent to the central government. Not only Param Singh, but the DCP Parag Manare has also been suspended, and it has been said that the disciplinary procedure in respect of certain irregularities and lapses committed by him, including unauthorized absence from duty. We know Param Singh, who was absconding for almost 230 days, more than 230 days. And importantly, when Maharashtra government has tried for a multiple communication was made by the Maharashtra government to Param Bir Singh, but there were no response from him. And this is the only reason when we saw that now Maharashtra government has already initiated, and the suspension letter, the suspension order, which was signed by Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, and now Maharashtra government has already suspended Param Bir Singh and DCP Parag Manare.